I think everybody should just have to do mushrooms at least 2 times in their life. Especially if you're going to be president. Damn it. If you're going to be president, you need to have expanded your consciousness more than your political lines. For sure.
Substance for that vibe, like substance for that nightlife, or block substance for thy mind, like supply substances.
Welcome back to the LFR Family Podcast. I was struggling significantly with putting these headphones on. So let me know in the comments if it's ridiculous, if I should go back to my earbuds, because I'm self-conscious about this kind of shit for some reason. We've got Craig here co-hosting today. DJ was unavailable for today. We will have him back on Tuesday next week with LFR Jojo. Look forward to that. What's going on, Craig? How are you today?
I'm doing pretty good. I was having a great
sweet,
time
cool.
over here
We also, going forward. What's up, man? What's going on?
Right. Wait, hold. I didn't even get to plug my crystal clear yet. No.
Right. Crystal clear.
No. I don't know if I'm supposed to do that. Do I have to keep that up?
You do whatever feels saucy
clear.
For you.
Can we get DJ that crystal clear, please?
I think it's crystal ice, right?
I'm actually really excited to be here because of the guest today, and that is JBird. Just because I can kind of be a referee between you two in case it gets salty.
Yeah, JBird likes to throw those left and right-handed jabs. Like she'll come up, it's crazy. She does it when she steps in too. Like she steps in, you think you're getting a hug, and then it's just like a pop pop. And it's difficult to catch sometimes.
Right.
I'm excited for this episode too. We've been talking about this. Everybody who's watched the last 4 episodes of the podcast has heard JBird is next week, the last 4 times. So I'm glad that we finally are getting this all figured out. Now, a little bit of a backstory. Our schedules are all different. We all have different schedules. We're all available at different times. And that's one thing that's been proving difficult for us. But we have some people that are helping us out as far as engineering, getting things together. So everything is going to be a lot more timely going forward. We got some cool and fun things to talk about. First of all, this conversation for this podcast is going to feel a lot like what our Discord environment is. If you are not in our Discord already for the LFR family, go ahead and join that. If you need something like a link or an invite code, let one of us know. We will reach out to you and give that to you. We have these hangout rooms where everybody can just get on camera and talk and have their fun, and we hang out in there every single day. We have a lot of access to Van from the main LFR family channel there, and it's a lot of fun. So we wanted to give I'll go ahead and be bold and say it. We wanted to give the 3 best personalities in the LFR family Discord the chance to show you guys what it's like.
That's going to start some trouble now.
Right. JBird, how are you?
I'm doing good. How are y'all doing?
I'm doing fantastic. How excited are you to finally get this episode going after I've had to apologize to you weekly and weekly and weekly? But I'm sorry. We're going to have to reschedule.
Feels good. Feels like I've got a little leverage now on you.
Sorry, I'm having technical difficulties at home because people can't handle stuff.
That's called being a parent?
I am not one yet. Thank goodness.
Well, because of the timeliness that we have struggled with, you do get at least 3 or 4 fuck yous during the show for me, just free of charge. I can't say anything about it. I can't be mad about it or upset about it. If I say something and you're like, nah, you've got it. You got at least 3 or 4 of those in your back pocket. Now, right now, we were talking earlier in our Discord hangout before we joined into this. And there's a lot of conversations going on about lockdowns and second waves and all this kind of stuff with the coronavirus. And we're all from very different places. I'm here in Ohio. JBird is down in the big Atlanta, Georgia. And then Craig is somewhere in, who cares?
California.
Somewhere in California. Craig is West Coast. Craig is West Coast. So we all have very different experiences with this. And I kind of want to, different people have different concerns, different areas are reacting different ways. And I know, JBird, you are a very creative person. So I think that you might have some insight for people who are quarantined or have to go through something on how to stay productive and happy while you're doing these things. That's something I've struggled with, is like, once you walk in a circle in your house 14 times, what the hell do I do now? What do I do now? Like, what am
Right.
I supposed to do the rest of the day? So how are you holding up going through all the quarantine and shutdown? And
I'm actually holding up pretty pretty damn good. I actually went into quarantine before quarantine began. My
you did it
own
before it was cool.
yeah, I did it before it was cool, and
Trendsetter.
now it's like everyone else is kind of down on my playing field. So I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it. I can paint, I can take photos, I can offer services for a fee, not in a sexual way. And
Are you comparing quarantine to your psyche right now?
Ooh.
I'm actually comparing if we take my psyche and we take the quarantine and what the quarantine has done, say to the average person's psyche. I've already dealt with that fucking quarantine, stuck in the house, don't know
Mhm.
where to go feeling. So I, like you said, use art. I take tons of photos. I do tons of. It's everybody's excuse to now do something with their time. And it is hard. Cabin fever does suck, but it's not
Yeah,
the end of the world.
that movie was horrible.
It's one of my favorite movies.
I actually liked it a lot too. That little that was what candy bar they called him, Pancake or something. We ran out of the little store and bit that dude.
Yes.
He's like, why would you steal? He's like, why would you steal a Snickers for the nougat? Like, yeah, I was so confused about that movie. Now with the lockdown, do you guys remember the first time you had the realization of things are closed? Like, I remember when I was really young, it was either Thanksgiving. I think it was Thanksgiving. We went out. I was in the car with one of my parents. I don't remember if it was my mom or my dad, but I had that realization of like, wow, yeah, we couldn't even go to Walmart right now if we wanted to. Like, it was just it was the first time I had realized, like, we have these resources that are always available to us. We have these things that are always open. And like, what if I needed a battery right now for my Game Boy? I can't go get one. Like, I'm not allowed.
We're spoiled.
Everything's gone. Right.
We're a spoiled country.
Do you guys remember the first time you had that realization, or was this quarantine and shutdown the first experience with that?
The aisles. The aisles is something, we can all relate to a little bit, I think.
They have them taped to go a specific direction.
Well, I mean, just there not being anything. That was the start.
Yeah.
Shelves.
Mm-hmm.
So that's something I think we all could relate on. But then the idea of those places that hold those things not being open, like I've never actually been through anything like this.
I think the craziest thing was that Monday when I went to work and there was absolutely nobody on the roads. And just dry, it felt like, the scenes in all the epidemic movies, and the roads are clear. It was like that, and it was eerie. It was an eerie feeling. Even just going out at night, I think that's what it was. Is not seeing the other vehicles was more. Hey, you better take your butt inside. See, that's what happens. Angry drivers in California be barking and yelling at everybody. and I think that's what got to me the most out of everything. I think it was just being on the road and not seeing people.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, whoa, that's when I had that gut dropping feeling. Cause I've seen I've seen it closed and like that. And I was old enough. I had kids. And so I knew what the closures were on the holidays, but that was a game changer.
You brought up being at work, and like for me, I work in a factory. It's a union shop as well. So there's rumors fly fast, right? Like no matter where you work, rumors fly fast. But when you have, we have a couple thousand employees at our facility. So when you have that many people, it's just boom, 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 boom. So as soon as the coronavirus started coming out, there was half of the plant saying something like, oh, they're going to shut us down. And then the other half of the plant just be like, yeah, right. They're never going to shut this place down. We run 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. Like there's no way that this is going to shut down. And then it came to a point where the big three had announced that they were going to shut down. We're like, oh man, this might be something. And then I was at work and they just the supervisors came up to us and they were like, so yeah, if you want to go home, you can go home. If not, you can finish your shift, but we may not be back tomorrow, And I was like, wow, this is a real thing. So I used a vacation day. I was like, I want to get paid for tomorrow just in case. So I'm going to, put a vacation day in to get a full week's pay. And then that's when they went on the lockdown and we were out for a couple months. And it blew my mind being like, when you're in the automotive industry, you hear all essential businesses and this kind of stuff. And it blew my mind that we were shut down for as long as we were. And then you go and you drive around and you see the roads are empty. You see that there's nobody around. And this has all kind of been, by this point, it's all kind of normalized, right? Like we're having this conversation now, like,
definitely.
like, hey, we've already been doing this for a year. This isn't, yeah. It's just crazy to think how fast we get used to these things, like it's crazy how fast we normalize a good thing or we normalize a bad thing or a scary thing. And now you've got people arguing over whether it's even real or whether it's, a mask works. Like all this kind of stuff has been so normalized that it's not taken seriously.
I think it put the miscommunication out there. I think it showed us how valuable communication between people really is.
Yeah.
Like miscommunication is more harmful than anything. If people aren't educated right, then they're going to make wrong decisions, or we're going to have people going out and buying toilet paper for no reason.
Yeah,
exactly.
Like, what was that?
And then,
like, I don't.
And you
that's
have
what
people.
Me.
Another interesting thing that I saw happen at my job a good handful of times is people, like, obviously we have a whatever they call it when it's a rule for the whole plant. But everybody has to wear a mask. A mandate. We have a mask mandate, right? Yeah. So there's people that will come into work and they won't want to wear their mask. Like, it's American freedom to express myself and live freely and yada, yada, yada. And, as all of us, we all agree, right? Like, yes, you're right. We agree. You have your rights. But I have my right to say, I'm going to hit you in the mouth if you come 6 feet from me. Like, don't push this. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, you get, and it's just, I saw that happen a good handful of times at work. And I'm not trying to bash on anybody who has different opinion on masks or, how we should be handling these things. Everybody's going to go through different things. Everybody's body's different. Everybody's minds are different. Right. But when you start to have that communication determine your relationships, that's what we've kind of normalized as now you're like, if you voted for this person, delete me off your Facebook and Twitter. I never want to talk to you again. If I hear you say this thing that triggers me, it's just very cancel culture. And this virus, this pandemic, it's made it so much easier to just delete somebody out of your life. If you're in your house and you're not going to see anybody for a long time.
And make it all right in others' eyes. Like other people are like, oh, no, it's okay to delete somebody and get rid of them. No. Like, we're supposed to have different opinions. Like, how are we going to learn if we all think exactly the same?
Exactly.
But the mask thing is weird too, because I also understand where some people are coming on. They can't wear a mask for that long because they start to freak out. Like, it's just too much to have it on their face all day.
Well, we're not used to it, right? That's one of those things is those people they've got to go through proper responsibilities, personal responsibilities, right? Like, if you can't handle having a mask on, call your sister or your cousin or DoorDash or something, like, do something to help align along with the idea that we need to get better. Right. So if like, for me, I have asthma and I have really bad allergies. I have really bad vision, and this isn't a victim statement or any sort of boo-hoo story, but a mask is inconvenient for me. I can't go anywhere without my glasses fogging up at all, period, no matter what kind of mask I have. My asthma, if I start to exert myself or start to get out of breath, it's very difficult to catch your breath with that mask on. There's a lot of things that are uncomfortable, but I still go to work and I wear my mask 8 hours a day or 12 hours a day, depending on when I'm scheduled. Now, when I'm home, I never put it on. If I go to the gas station, I put it on as I get out of my car. It's very quick, in and out, very, very easy to manage.
I won't wear one until I get around people. Like, if I'm going to be around people, then I'll put a mask on. I'm not going to go outside and just put a mask on. Just because, mine's really, I don't want pimples on my face. Like, I'm afraid of getting
I got one
pimples,
right here,
and I don't
dude.
know.
Today
Yeah,
it just popped up.
I
I'm
don't
so
know
super sad about it.
if women
I'm
don't
not even a
understand
teenage
this,
boy
but-
with a crush on somebody right now, and I got a
Right?
pimple. Like, I
Pimples
didn't
in
ask.
your beard
I'm not going to
are no
ask anyone
fun,
on a
ladies.
date.
You don't know about that. Like, pimples in this stuff suck.
Yeah, I
That's
know
what I
about. What
worry
is?
about.
I don't
What are you
even
saying?
need to
I'm
have
Native
it.
American.
So-
I have facial hair, dude.
I know.
What are you saying?
You have peach fuzz.
No, I'm
You
just
have
not a
peach
real man.
fuzz. Do you have to shave every day?
Are you asking my? Oof, I shouldn't say that.
No.
Are you asking?
We're not asking if you shave your vagina. We're asking if you
No.
shave your face.
No. I was gonna say, are you asking the opinion of a super special certain someone that probably won't even watch this podcast? That person says I should shave every day. But no, I don't. I shave about once a week.
But would you have to look nice? Like to keep like if I wanted to
the
keep
fact that
skin,
you're
I would have to
the
shave
fact that you're
every
asking the
day.
question clearly says yeah, I do, because like you're questioning like, do you have to do it to look nice? Because I
WTF
don't
deals
see
with
it
that.
right now.
And then here. He has to deal with all of that he has
JBird,
every day.
WTF is flawless though. Like we've had this
Yeah.
conversation so many times. How do you just have a 6-pack all day? Like that doesn't.
Yeah.
It's not.
You can't
We're in
bring
our
them up
30s and
every
40s.
time.
Right.
We're sick of actually hearing about him. Actually,
I'm still trying to get my trophy wife. You don't trophy husband in our face.
yeah, all the time. All the time, like, hey, check this out, and I'm like, yeah, I haven't had a 6-pack since I was 18, and I've had it like this.
I've literally never had a 6-pack ever. I've never been able to do more than
Neither
4
have I.
pull-ups.
I had a 6-pack of beer.
I'm not an alpha male at
there
all.
You go.
I'm not an alpha
You're not
male
an
at
alpha
all.
male?
But no, but if you're a good beta, you've got a good mind, and you can you can just pull one under, just sneak by the alphas every once in a while. You know,
I would put you more
Um,
as an omega.
Yes, you can.
Like,
ooh,
I would
like
say
a fatty
you're
acid.
toxic.
Are you calling me a fatty acid right
Fatty acid. Well, like if you would come
No,
down.
I'm saying you're like the baddest ass woman there is.
Oh,
I'm the strongest
hands down.
kindergartner is a better way to say that. Thanks, Craig. Ding, your time is up.
Your time is up. You're definitely
time is
not
up.
filling in no more.
Well, I'll tell you, I have gotten a lot of confidence throughout this year, just based off of the experiences that I've gone through this year. You know, you guys know my personal life, my personal stories. We share everybody's issues pretty intimately within the LFR family here. And there's real changes that people are making during this year that are going to be monumental for the way that we go forward from this. And I hope that inspiration, motivation, and self-awareness is 3 of the key things that we come through on the other side of this. And one
What
thing
about
that I do
washing
want to
hands?
bring,
I think that needs to be pointed out.
yeah,
Like,
that's going back
people
in
need to
circles to
wash
the
their hands
conversation we
more.
just had 10 minutes ago. That's over, Craig. We're done with that. Ding. But
Fuck
one thing
you,
I want to bring
man.
there it is. There's one.
Ding.
There's one. Ding. Oh, hold on. Okay.
There it is.
One thing I do
think
want
it's
to point out
terrible that washing hands is just for a virus now and not just for everyday life.
Right.
you only wash your hands when you pee if there's somebody else in the bathroom. Don't lie. Also,
only if I poop.
one thing that I do want to bring up is, as far as, you know, how we're pulling through this is understanding the relationships that you do have around you that nurture you as a person, not relationships that you depend on, right? There's a difference between depending on something and understanding that something's good for you. And JBird, I want to thank you wholehearted when you sent me that gift box. Not only does that hair care product make my hair look phenomenal when I use it, but you did something that I didn't expect you to do. Even though I know you, I didn't expect you to do this. And what you did is you took almost like photo booth style strips of photos from our Discord hangouts. And I was able to look back and remember the facial expression from a conversation that we had. Those types of things are things that we have so many technologies to allow us to do. But since we're so disconnected, people don't think of how little effort it takes to do something like that. Like that
I
probably
bet
took
she
you,
likes those.
that probably wasn't something that took you weeks and weeks and weeks to do, right? Like you may have thought about
Right.
it, planned it out, got some ideas, but to actually do the thing was probably
Yeah, and
not a
just
lot of effort at all. But what it brought was like, wow, I
Mhm.
have a friend that really cares. I have somebody that I've never met that is in a different state, that we've connected on so many levels. And, we've had our ups and downs, we've argued, we've yelled, we've cried, we've laughed. But at the end of the day, I've got this package that shows physical evidence of a time that we were all having fun and having a good time. And it was
Yeah.
cool. And I hope that people have made these connections throughout this time. Because that's something that we always
I
talk
hope
about
so
when it
too.
comes to the LFR family.
I hope so too. It's the whole pandemic, I think, is what gave birth to even what's happening right now.
Mm-hmm.
Without Van starting with the LFR, without him even having that switch of a thought, without him having the support, we go back, us three go back so far, and
Mm-hmm.
to have not met each other, and to have not in person, and to have not known each other so long, y'all have become the people that I can trust the most,
Mm-hmm.
because y'all are here just as much as I am, and we all came in with this standard of morals, so to
Mm-hmm.
speak, that you learn when you're a kid. Let people talk when they're talking. Allow people to interrupt if they're gonna interrupt, or have Craig go politely tell him to fuck off, and
I'll put
they'll
you in another room.
understand.
We'll
Yeah,
put you in
it's just,
another room.
and it all started with just what we grew up knowing as being kind and respectful of one another,
Mm-hmm.
to show that
And
you care and you listen, and that's what this is all about,
and that's a very interesting thing to even think about, taking it a step further. Is we've had people join the Discord or the Patreon or be in live chats that they didn't have that same kind of understanding of how we carry things, right? And very
Right.
quickly, just the way that we have that environment set and the way that we carry ourselves, the way that we are always inspiring everybody else, there's been one or two people out of the hundreds that visit us throughout the Discord
Right.
that have
Yeah.
not really been able to get it. Like, oh, this is a caring place. It's not about the
Yeah.
internet troll making everybody, mad or angry or arguing. Like that, we can actually talk as people. And one thing that I've gotten really happy to learn about you is how creative you are. Someone, for me, like I have a lot of these ideas in my head for paintings or drawings or this, that, or the other. And then it gets to the doing it part, and I'm like, what do I do with my hands? I don't know how to do any of this stuff. And then I give up. So I want to kind of hear about what it was that got you into a creative mindset and how you were able to keep yourself maintained being creative and motivated during something like this year.
I can't turn it off. I can't turn it off to save my life. It doesn't matter if I may be on the computer. So then I think, well, I took photos. I transfer photos from my phone to my computer every day because I take so many pictures. And then I try to go the next level, and I love working with my hands. So having any tool, scissors, tape, bracelet string, like I made Craig's daughters a couple of little necklaces with
They
their
love 'em.
names.
I got that in my package from her.
Yes, you did.
Got that in my package.
I got a question for you,
Yeah.
JBird. Do you think it without your creative side, do you think that this would have been a totally different experience for you? Do you
For
think
the
if
quarantine?
you didn't have that creative side of you, do you think you would have had a different experience through this pandemic?
I think I wouldn't have have enjoyed it as much or found the joy in the smaller things that I can find the joy in. The creativity now allows me to find those tiny things or those little things that make you smile. It it's kind of a mindset I can't get out of, and I try not to. But back when I went to school, it was extremely hard to do the creative on demand. Like, but now it feels so much more freeing because everything is the new norm, not going back to the old. So doing things a certain way doesn't have to be done that way. I used to laminate pictures without a laminator. I used to use clear packing tape and just old credit cards and just laminate shit. Yeah, and there's just something about, the handwork and then the result, even if it's a very simple thing, or writing. Like, I love journaling. I love all sorts of. I'd be a totally different fucking person if I wasn't creative. I'd probably be boring as hell. And I wouldn't be Lieutenant.
I don't know about boring.
I think everybody
right.
I think everybody is a creative in a certain sense. Like as humans, we're pretty interesting things, as in, like, we're not only are we the observers, right? Like, we think of ourselves as the only ones that have this sentient consciousness and understanding and communication with each other and that kind of stuff. Like, not only are we the observers, but we're responsible for most creations on the planet by this time. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not talking creationism or religion or anything, but inventions that have happened around the world. It's humans, like, you don't have snakes out there making inventions or anything like that. So the creative part of humanity is one of the things that I think we can all agree exists in many levels, whether it's a female brain or a male brain or a lizard brain or reptile brain, whatever you want to call them. But the fact that you're able to manifest something physical from a thought process is something very unique to humans. It's very unique to us that we can think about something and we have the articulation and the dexterity and the tools to do these things and create something physical. And there's so many people that have been living this backtracking lifestyle of, rather than picking up some sticks and rubbing them for fire and creating this new technology and emergence of something beautiful, we're going back to typing with our thumbs. 10 years ago, everybody was typing on keyboards. Just the input speed, of a keyboard, you're putting in so many more words per minute. You're putting in so much more information. You're doing so much more data. Now we're all reverting back to a touch screen and two thumbs, and we're reducing our capabilities of doing these things.
It feels like we're devolving.
Yeah,
like,
it's very scary.
Like critical thinking is actually taking a step back now.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's very dangerous as a species. Like, we don't have people who can think on their feet right now. They need to go here and do this. They can't formulate an opinion on their own. And
I see that happen. I see that happen at work all the time, man. Like, we'll have some clear direction of what we're supposed to do, and you see this guy standing there like, I don't understand why we're doing this. Like, this doesn't make any sense. And I'm like, wow, this is interesting. Like, this guy has no idea. Like, it'll come to a point where it doesn't come directly down to how the directions are, and it's up to us to make a call on how we make this work and not stop the whole thing. You know what I mean? And as soon as the directions stop, they're like, what? And it's just like, wow, this is crazy. Like, how do you not have enough wherewithal to understand? Like, you've done this job every day for the past 5, 6, 7 years. You know how everything works. You know how the whole thing goes. But as soon as that direction or instruction is gone, it's like, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing. It's crazy. And to me, it's just very, it's scary and it's disturbing, to be honest with you. And I don't want to bring the mood down, but to see the emergence of the technology we've had in the last 100 years compared to the amount of backtracking we're doing right now, whether it's just dividing us as people, whether it's colors, whether it's races, whether it's genders, whether it's cultures,
morals.
It's just, there's so much that's taking us back to a animalistic caveman sort of nature. And it's scary. I think everybody should just have to do mushrooms at least two times in their life.
we don't have to yellow and purple everything, okay? There's 37 other topics we can know.
We won't get into drugs. We won't get into drug abuse because none of us do that here. But I think everybody, especially if you're going to be president, damn it, if you're going to be president, you need to have expanded your consciousness more than your political lines, for sure. If you're going to hopefully that happens at some point to where these things are legal and we're able to, just like caffeine, it expands your mind, or nicotine, that expands your mind, alcohol. As soon as we have more of these substances that are more productive that we're allowed to use, you should have to do those things as president. Maybe not during your term, but I want to know that you took 5.5 dried grams of mushrooms, talked to aliens for 6 hours, and came back a better person. I want to know that about you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Because it's an emotional feeling, and everybody should be able to tap into those emotions one time.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because there's things that you experience. There's things that you experience even outside of drugs, right? We can act like that part of the conversation never happened. Take somebody like Craig. You live in California on the West Coast. Yeah. If you were to come to Ohio when we're in the middle of a snowstorm, you'd be like, what the fuck is this? Right? Like, I'm sure you've seen snow before, but when it's a blizzard,
I would be right next to your heater, not doing nothing.
But what I'm saying is when you have a difference in environment, your perception changes of where you are, right? You feel different. You feel vulnerable. You feel uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. You feel alienated, all these things. If you're used to a warm, sunny climate, and then you go somewhere where you have, snowflakes as big as a quarter or a $50 that are falling from the sky, it looks like you're driving through a Star Wars kind of scene where it's just all this, it's crazy, right?
So I would
very similar.
Making crazy animals and
right. JBird would have a snowman on every neighbor's lawn, she made the snowman.
Complimentary snowman.
They're like, what are you doing out there? She's like, I'm building a snow. Do you want to build a snowman?
Yeah.
Just come on, let it go.
Let's just have fun. Come on.
I just live across the road. I noticed you didn't shovel today, so I came out to. Yeah, that was good.
It would
good
be
bit.
Every day. So I got yelled at by the neighbor again.
You got yelled at by the neighbor?
Snowman.
Oh, we're still doing the bit. I forgot. I'm sorry. You took that one an extra line too far, Craig.
No, you just didn't go far enough.
Okay, now
it's always about you, Brandon.
JBird, if you have somebody like myself, we've spoken a few times where there's certain things that either you do or have experience with that I don't, or vice versa. Somebody like me who's a creative person in their mind, but doesn't necessarily understand how to start a project or how to start a painting or this, that, or the other. What kind of advice do you have for people who right now are struggling with being motivated? What's a simple artistic something that you can do that will give you a tangible, physical, good feeling product afterwards?
Get a journal. Start writing down what you want to do.
Okay.
Simply.
All right.
And then, so get a journal. Now, guys, I have about 30, 40 journals. No joke. All dedicated to different topics. Favorite names, journal. Actual history happening live, journal. Journal of lists for other journals.
Wait, hold on. Does your favorite names journal have a name?
No.
Oh, man, it can't be a favorite names journal.
Oh,
man.
You didn't name the favorite name journal. Okay, well, let's take a couple step backs. That didn't make sense grammatically. Let's take a few steps back.
But see how I was a bigger man and let that go?
Yeah, I did it too quick for you. JBird, so you're explaining how you organize your thoughts and all of those things. I'm more curious as to what's an achievable craft, what's an achievable photography kind of lane, what's an achievable kind of, drawing. Where's a good place to start for these people? Because everybody's going to gather their thoughts and ideas in different ways. I like to write things down now that I've done the podcast, but before the podcast, if you told me to write something down, I'm like, fuck you. I'm not writing anything down.
Yeah, I'd probably say fuck you too. Without this.
Like he's talking like from the creative standpoint. Where would you start at your creative standpoint?
You know, I actually have a small box that I am able to get to at all the times, and it just holds like my favorite book. It holds a notebook. It holds project ideas, and then it actually has tools. So going and getting just a simple, go and buy for Christmas just a few canvases, order them, and order a simple little thing of paint. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. You can make it out of, that's the beauty of everything that's going on. You can make everything out of any, as long as you have simple tools like magazines, newspapers, and YouTube. YouTube helps a lot
Anything
too.
but
to
glitter.
help you. Glitter sucks. Yeah, no glitter.
I hate glitter.
Not a fan of glitter. So just having the things at your disposal and at your ready to be creative. When you have an idea, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, if you're wanting.
My wife, she has this thing she does when she's trying to be creative, and she grabs her phone and she goes to frickin' Pinterest.
Yes,
and I'm like, get the hell off of Pinterest. No, we're not making that. No. And it's always like, hey, babe, can we do this? And it's like a house built out of pallets. And I'm like, no, I'm not having a pallet house.
Speaking of that, it's kind of like I wanted in the house a secret room. Y'all remember? And it's right there.
That blew my mind. Don't give it away. Don't tell people. That's a different episode. That's a different episode.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll get DJ back and all three of us to go to Narnia for that whole episode.
That was my favorite part when my favorite time is when he went, oh my God, you got a secret door.
I thought I had seen what I saw. Like I thought I saw something I didn't see. I was like, whoa. Did JBird just walk through a mirror? What's happening? And then it took me a good 3 or 4 minutes before I spoke up. Like she was already in and out of the room, remember? And I was like, did you just go through it? Like I was so confused that I had to wait.
Before you just I'm like, in front of everybody.
Like when you lose something and you know you had it, so you retrace your steps. I had to retrace my steps of what the fuck did I just see? What did I see? What did I just see? Yeah, that's and that's the other part of being creative. So you brought up having things on your ready, and that's something that it may sound like a simple like duh, if you don't have a paintbrush you can't paint, dumbass. But there's so many things that I would assume most people listening, as including myself, there would be something that I see in the house that I say, like, I could improve that. I could fix that. I could do this. I could do that. And then I go and I find out that I don't have the right tool, or I don't have the right screwdriver, or I don't have this or that. And then that idea is just out and gone in the trash. And I've given up on it. We'll get back to it at another time and whatever. And maybe it will happen. Maybe it won't happen. If you have the tools on the ready and you get that inspirational idea at that moment, you can at least start it. Right. And I think that's important that people understand that, because I don't think I get it yet.
So like I don't have to leave in order to get my paint or to get my my Sharpies or to get tape or my laminating, because it's like a store in here. It's really I know it's a lot of stuff, but I got everything on hand right here, and it's like all highlighters. It's just,
I love that. You don't drink out of that cup ever?
No, I don't.
Oh.
That would be Brandon's coffee cup every morning.
That would be my coffee cup every day.
Hello,
100%.
everybody.
Really?
How are you today? Are you smiling?
I like to have cups that have a better smile than I do. I think that it's important.
I get jealous of them. I'm like, don't you smile at me. Don't you smile pretty at me.
Well, we saw you featured on that SpongeBob episode we did last night.
We did, right?
With our daughters. Yeah. Shout out to the main LFR family channel, guys, where there's going to be a lot of stuff that is either going to hit that channel and or an unidentified side second channel that hasn't been announced yet. That is going to have more content than just what we're used to seeing. And to give you a little bit of a sneak peek, Craig and I did a reaction with our daughters yesterday that hopefully you guys will see soon. If not, that means that Craig's daughter didn't do good at all because mine are perfect.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see that.
Like my daughter went total Patrick. She was like, I was trying
you
to
can't agree with me. Listen, okay, we got to explain the bit. Let's back up. If we're doing comedy and I insult a child, you can't agree with me to validate the bit.
Listen,
you can't.
I'm sorry, I'm honest.
It was a joke. Your daughter did phenomenal, and now I feel like some sort of asshole with long hair.
My daughter didn't do phenomenal. Let's be honest here. I'm just being honest.
For her first time doing a reaction as a child, she did great.
I expect more. That's my child.
No, your standards are shit.
My child. Like, I'm sorry. I have
Listen,
that's what I'm used to hearing. To me,
most people that have seen this podcast have also seen your first video on Van's channel.
Was like, listen, I'm little LFR Jesus Jr. and I just picked this up right now, and I'm talking and talking. And I was like, you better start talking.
You better
You're gonna let that little girl show you up? You're gonna let her show you up?
Let her show you up like that?
All I know, Craig, I think your daughter did fine because we all watched your first video, and your daughter didn't run out of breath at all that whole time. But on your video,
the real thing. You have asthma, you know. I got asthma.
Yeah, but I don't do it on camera.
I didn't have my phasma.
Phasma.
I have phasma.
Okay. So going forward, guys, I want to use this as a time to invite people to the Discord, invite people to experience these kinds of conversations. We do this quite often, like I said before, and you're going to hear us three in those rooms as well. We have a couple things that we'll plug here in a little bit, but to kind of wrap up the episode today, JBird, what is something, and this you're going to like this, what is something that you want Craig and I to do that we have to show you by Friday of next week that shows our creative side from what you've inspired us to do?
Why are you throwing me in there?
You're the guest host. Deal with it.
Oh,
okay.
Bullshit.
So
I'm not creative.
I mean, I'm down for whatever. We can do nude pictures,
Let's
like
do it.
where they like paint you. Like I'll pose on my own thing, like on my table. I'll pose on my table, and then I'll paint that picture
I
that
don't
I took
have
of
enough
myself.
money to go buy that much paint at Home Depot. To paint the
Well, for the censorship bar, you'd only need a little bit of black paint, just a tiny little.
I want your best tree drawing in 30 seconds.
Ooh, a 30-second tree drawing?
Mm-hmm. Like the one I love trees. I love drawing trees.
Oh,
she put a time limit on it too.
Okay, well, we're gonna have to do that on video.
Sand dials, all different sorts of times that we can go by. All up there.
Greg says we're gonna have to time it, and she said I have sand dials. Oh my god, this is great.
Okay, man.
All right, guys.
Start working out now too.
This has been the LFR Family Podcast, y'all. Go ahead and follow me on Twitter at it's LFR Jesus. Follow DJ at it's Photobomb Champ. He will be back Tuesday, like I said. Make sure you guys check out the main channel, LFR Family.
Not gonna be me every time, so don't worry.
Not at all. We're super happy about that. Also, check out LFR Jojo, LFR Niah. Make sure you click the like and subscribe here. Give us a comment. Tell us some of the things that you enjoyed or disliked or hated about my hair, and then everything about Craig wrong.
And everything you liked about me.
Look, that's it. And if I fix that, I'm gonna be better looking.
Yeah, and if you guys have any specific questions, or if you want to look for some inspiration, JBird obviously is in our Discord. You can always reach out to her, join up there. We also have photo sharing channels and ideas and business sharing tips, and there's a lot of ways to get motivated within it. So come say hi to JBird. Craig, what's your Twitter?
I don't know.
Okay, never mind. JBird, you are
Okay,
an
it's
your Instagram, right?
I don't know.
We'll put
Jude's
it in
on
the links.
Instagram.
Yeah,
Hey Jude,
it'll
dude.
be down. It'll be right here somewhere.
Okay. All right,
Yeah.
cool.
Hey
Well, we
Jude,
appreciate
dude.
you guys
Go
coming
follow
out.
him, my pup.
JBird, we appreciate your time. It
I can't
was a lot of
believe you
fun.
asked a 43-year-old
Thank
man what
you.
his Twitter is.
Thank you for having me.
It's literally part of the outro, dude. JBird, do you see him? So when DJ said he wasn't available, I was like, all right, we got Craig. Everything's gonna be fine. And now that he fucked up the outro, we just did the whole podcast and he messed up the goodbye, y'all.
It's
See you
not
later.
messed up.
So
It's not
all right,
messed up.
JBird, let's take this out. I appreciate your time, JBird. Everything was super fun and awesome. And I'm really looking forward to having you back on here again for tutorials. We'll even do a reveal of our 30-second trees on the next episode that you do with us.
I want that. I'm writing
yeah,
it down. You mean that means something?
write it-
I'm writing it down.
Yeah, write it down and get with DJ and I, and we'll get everything scheduled. And we will not include Craig except for what his. So this is what we'll do. We'll give his submission, right? So we can see what he did. But then it will be me and DJ on the camera so we can talk shit about it while he's listening to the live stream of the podcast. Yeah, so that's what we'll do.
That's your
it's been a
fault.
lot
You
of
should
fun.
know I don't know my
JBird, I'm gonna invite you to do this with me. This little move here, my favorite move. It's been a lot of fun, and we'll see you later. Check us out on
Later.
Tuesday. We'll be here with LFR Jojo. See you later, guys. Thanks, Craig.
Bye.
Praying hands for my people. Blessed be to my team. Cause all I see is that evil. The devil shift is clocking.